The 10th round of NPL Victoria is upon us, what will hopefully be a perfect 10's worth of a weekend's football. And we're here at Gardeners Creek, reserved for what looms as potentially an early season-defining contest for these two sides. A genuine six-pointer. It's the hosts, Eastern Lions, coming up against the Altona Magic. Thank you for joining me today on the NPL Victoria Facebook and YouTube pages. My name is Joe Lynch, getting set to take you through all of this one for what looms, as I said, as a massive clash. Altona making the trip out to Burwood, still looking for their first win on the season. They currently occupy 13th place on the NPL Victoria table, one of the two relegation spots, and they'll be looking to get the 3 points today to drag themselves up to within just a point of 11th placed Eastern Lions, 4 ahead of them on the table. For the Lions, a win today can potentially move them up to 9th on the table, which would also be just 3 points adrift of the top 6 as things currently stand. But we'll take you through the lineups now before we get started. Few new faces running around for the Magic, but before then, for the hosts, starting in goal, number 1, Keegan Coulter. Number 5, Sevdim Ismaili. Number 7, the captain, Ziggy Rizuki. Number 9, Adi Ahmedi. Number 10, Chris Drutzis. Number 11, Dennis Deluri. Number 16, Sean Kenny. Number 17, Nathan Sim. Number 22, Aaron Fabrice. Number 23, James Doyle. And number 47, Ioannis Georgopoulos. For the visiting Magic, in goal, number 1, Chris Oldfield. Number 4, Troy Ruthven. Number 7, Nick Sete. Number 9, John McShane. Number 10, Dean Beravescos. Number 14, Harry Noon. Number 15, Alex Castillo. Number 20, Jonas Markowski, as the Lions kick us off. Number 22, Anthony Burke-Gilroy. Number 25, Harrison Reeves, as we see the Lions kicking forward early. And finally, number 27, Haniel Gomez da Silva. As we see Beravescos getting on the ball there, an early touch. He is one of the 3 new signings out there for the Magic. Beravescos, Gomez da Silva and Castiello all making their first appearance for the Altona Magic here today. As we see a ball directed long, it was intended for Ahmedi, fell down to Kenny, but unfortunately for the Lions, Kenny's attempt to control has been adjudged by referee Andrew Memorakis to have come off his hand, or at least his arm. There's Gomez da Silva getting an early touch as well. Intended for Harry Noon, but it's going to go out and it's going to be an Altona Magic throw-in on that right flank. Now the ball with the Lions. Indeed, both of these sides not coming into this game with the most auspicious of form lines. Eastern Lions in the midst of a 3-game losing streak. Last week suffering a 4-1 loss at the hands of the Oakley Cannons. Did take the lead early on in that contest, but then, pardon the pun, but the Cannons blew them out of the water. For the Magic, 2-0 loss to Bentley Greens, coming off the heels of a bit of a heartbreaking, late controversial as well, 2-1 loss to Melbourne Knights, where a Gian Albano 94th minute penalty could sign them to a 2-1 defeat. As that ball is played long, headed clear, but it's only going to go as far as Noon, and he'll play it out to Sete on the left flank. Nick Sete, cheeky little step over, he's trying to get an angle and cut inside, but just ridden out towards the touchline, and the Lions will have a goal kick. Strong early defending. And a chance for Keegan Coulter to, looks like, potentially put something long. Instead, he'll go short to Doyle. Ismaili comes under pressure from Sete. Sete wins the ball. Ismaili tries to play back. Drutzis, Deluri, plays it to Kenny. Back to Sim in the middle of the defence. Deluri. Doyle tells Georgopoulos where he wants him and then gives him the ball. Noon applying the pressure. You can hear the appeals of the Magic, but it retains in possession of the Lions. Georgopoulos splays it across the field. Rizuki goes back to collect. And then coming under pressure, plays it back to Sim, but he's going to win the free kick as well. High energy start to this one here. Should be a good contest. As I mentioned, both sides desperate for a win, desperate for the 3 points. Have already played one game this weekend, of course. That was Dandenong City versus the Melbourne Knights. Melbourne Knights coming away with that one. So a chance for the Magic to put some distance between them and Dandy City on the table. Both sides entering this weekend on 4 points. Reeves and Deluri doing battle, and it was Deluri that won out. That ball looking for Drutzis on the right flank. Drutzis plays it inside, looking for men in the middle, but can't find them. Sete trying to come away with it. Drutzis picks his pocket, but then strong defending from Reeves to get in and prevent any quick moves in transition. Ismaili. Back to Doyle. Sim. Rizuki playing the 1-2 with Sim. To Coulter, and Coulter attempts to put his boot through it, but it's only going to go as far as Noon, but Noon gives it straight to Georgopoulos. Players making a run, long ball forward. Drutzis has Deluri in support. Plays it out to Deluri. Coming under pressure from Castillo. Castillo does well to win the throw-in. Drutzis coming in, applying the pressure with that challenge and got the last touch on it. Long ball down the flank, looking for McShane, who nods it on. Big battle. Pack forms, 4 or 5 players getting in there, and eventually McShane puts it out. Ahmedi chests or knees it down to Drutzis. Noon nips in. McShane holding the ball up. Tries to play it back, but it's picked out there by Sean Kenny. Deluri to Drutzis. Seeing a lot of the ball early is Chris Drutzis. Stayed in? No, it hasn't. But it's going to be a corner kick. Last coming off Harrison Reeves. Already see the scope of the job ahead of Harrison Reeves, with Drutzis looking like he's up for this one early. Ziggy Rizuki coming across to take the corner. Potential to play it short with Deluri. Rizuki with a delivery. Players arriving. Headed clear by Noon. Falls out to Georgopoulos. Had time to wind up. It's straight into a pack of players and it's cleared away. Coulter plays it straight back. Gives Doyle something to chase, but he can't keep it in. Instead, Burt Gilroy out there on the right into Ruthven. He's going to go down and win a free kick for the Magic. So Mimarakis making that call. He's assisted today by Jackson Landy and Luke Rigo. Standing over this one, and eventually the Magic will be able to get us going again, but they've got bodies forward now. Tall figures of McShane and Noon atop the penalty area. Instead, it's going to get splayed across to the left flank here. Harrison Reeves has time. And he'll play the ball forward looking for Noon, but it's just going to sail over his head. And Aaron Fabrice will watch it go out for another goal kick for Keegan Coulter. And he'll play it short to Doyle, who's moved into centre-back this season. Missed round 1 after trialling with the Newcastle Jets, but has since slotted back into the heart of the Lions' back 4. Smalley coming under pressure from Sete. Deluri. Chested on by Georgopoulos. Ruthven applying the pressure to Deluri. He falls over, but it's the ball to nobody really. And the Magic, nice little dink ball over the top of Sete. Sete does well to beat his man. Coming inside. Got McShane in the middle looking for him. Headed clear, however. Georgopoulos. Skittles Castillo. Ahmedi trying to find Deluri. Can't. And Deluri was offside. Oldfield boots this one long, looking for McShane. Nods it on, but fortunately for the Magic, to no one in particular, and Ismaili boots it clear. Drutzis down to Delulu, trying to play the 1-2. Appeals for a handball. Referee ignores it. Still a battle in there. Armadi battling with 3. Trying to win the way, but he doesn't, and Beravescos steals it away. But the Magic can't retain possession. Coulter to Sim. Back to Coulter, under pressure from McShane. Forces him to go long. Smiley and Sete, another battle on this flank taking place. Sete whips a ball in, players arriving. But in the end it's Fabrice that got the touch and then follows up. Challenge from Markowski, puts it out. Instructions coming in from the Magic bench. They want Harrison Reeves to push up a little bit. Lock those Lions in. And he just kind of throws this man over. Referee waves play on. McShane back to Noon. A lot of bodies in there for both sides. Rizuki. Kenny played back to Coulter. Sim. He'll look up and play it out to Ismaili. He's got Drutzis. Uses him. Harrison Reeves watches on. Ball over the top now, looking for Dennis Deluri. Brief appeals for offside. It's not going to come. Deluri looking for the cheeky chip. It's going to stay in fact, initially at least. Rizuki's kept playing, and no. Referee's whistle comes in and breaks the suspense, and it will be a goal kick for Chris Oldfield. So, good start to this one. Both sides, as the 6-point nature that I alluded to would suggest, coming out bright with this one. It's Drutzis now, again looking to combine with Deluri. Of course, a number of other games happening across NPL Victoria this weekend. Simultaneous kickoffs, in fact, and I can tell you, spoiler alert, if you are planning on watching them later, but in the South Melbourne Hume game, it was Armedi. It is 1-0 to South Melbourne in that one. Early goal in the 9th minute. Now the Magic looking to break forward and get an early goal of their own. Players streaming forward. It's whipped in for McShane. But the big man just can't control it. Sort of looked like it might have come off his collarbone there. Bounced off and gone out for a goal kick. But quick move forward for the Magic. Threatening Eastern Lions after Eastern Lions probably just shading the opening stages of this one. But only just, if you could even pick a difference between the two. Armedi coming under pressure. Beravescos coming in there and helping out. Gomez de Silva there as well, but now Deluri picking pockets and he's trying to open up an angle and it's going to go straight at Chris Oldfield. The hustle there from Dennis Deluri, creating something out of nothing. Fabrice heads it back. Well done by McShane. He'll play it back, but there's nobody arriving until Sete there, and that's an error from Sim. Bundles over Sete. Referee waves it away. Could have been disastrous there for the Eastern Lions man in the middle. Just bailed out at the last. Ball is now with Reeves. Tries to turn Armedi. Plays it back into the middle for Castillo. Beravescos. Gomez de Silva. So the new players in action there for the Magic. Ball over the top. Onside here. This is danger. McShane. Saved by Coulter. Strong save. McShane. Second bite at it perhaps. No. Cleared away by Nathan Sim. Markowski and McShane combining well there, but just unable to beat Keegan Coulter, the former NPL 2 goalkeeper of the year in the Lions promotion winning campaign. Sliding challenge. Deluri down to Rizuki. Switches on if the Lions want it. Drutzis wants it. Eventually Georgopoulos gets it out, but Drutzis is going to have to go back and collect. She does so well, but Drutzis His control initially was good, but second touch allowed Reeves to get in. But now the throw in is Ismaili working against Sete. Sete does well to get in and pick Ismaili's pocket. But the clearance is going to get cut out by Georgopoulos. Rizuki into Ahmedi in the middle. Comes out, just the shot from Sean Kenny. Appeals for a handball, waved away. So early appeals for a penalty from both sides here, waved away by referee Andrew Mamarcus. Real intense start to this one. You got to think a goal is going to come sooner rather than later. Reeves. Castillo plays it back to Oldfield. Free kick taken quickly. Deluri in a few minds about what to do with it. Eventually plays it to a man in trouble there in the form of Sean Kenny, and he's going to be forced to go back to Doyle. Now a bit of time to collect themselves. Smiley. Drutzis bundled over by Reeves, and in a manner adjudged to be a free kick. Grin on the face of Chris Drutzis. Perhaps his intention was to win that one. If so, mission accomplished. Doyle plays it upfield, looking for Ardi Ahmedi. Played back to Drutzis. Goes around Ruthven. Then tees up a shot, looking for the far post. Oldfield pushes it away. Poking and probing are the Lions here. And they have themselves a corner over on that attacking left flank. Getting the bodies forward now. Played short. Georgopoulos has an angle. Shot from range, cleared away by McShane. Goes straight into the sky though. Bodies everywhere. And that's the penalty. Attempted clearance. I think it collected Aaron Fabrice down there. He went down, clutching at the boot. You could hear the noise of boot on boot from here. And the referee points to the spot and gives the Eastern Lions a chance to take the lead here in the 16th minute of play. So intense start to this one. Bodies flying everywhere. Now a chance for Ioannis Georgopoulos to give his side the lead. The veteran NPL figure, set-piece specialist for the Lions. One of the many they have, in fact. Now it will be him versus Chris Oldfield. And Georgopoulos wins that battle straight down the middle. The Lions take an early lead in this 6-pointer here at Gardeners Creek Reserve. Ioannis Georgopoulos converting the penalty. Oldfield, he knew what was happening the second it had come off his boot, but he was already committed to going to his left, stuck up a hand, not enough. And the score here at Gardeners Creek Reserve with the 17th minute goal is Eastern Lions 1, Altona Magic 0. Sete's chest down is picked out by Ismaili after Sete fell over. Drutzis. See so often in games, one goal leads to 2 or 3 in quick succession. Will it be an equalizer or a second or third for the Lions in this case? Or perhaps neither. I mean, hopefully though, it's more goals, more entertaining for us as the viewer. Oldfield boots it forward long. McShane trying to head it on for Sete, but it's come off the wrong part of his head. Kenny out to Rizuki on the left. Ziggy Rizuki. Oh, that's a lovely dinked ball over the top. Look for Drutzis. Harrison Reeves doing well to get back. Sete and Ismaili battling again. Dean Beravescos. As it's a Ruthven. Switch it now to the right for the Magic. Back into Ruthven, and then he'll play it long, looking for Markowski on the right. Now Rizuki, though. Markowski nips in. Ruthven playing it forward, putting it across the field, but Sete on his heels, and Ismaili gets across in time instead. Reeves heads it forward, but only as far as the goal scorer, Georgopoulos. Kenny. Fabrice. Sim. Back to Fabrice. Eventually the press comes. This leads to the Lions switching play, and now Doyle has a chance to advance the ball. Gets it back from Deluri for Messi. Just content to keep the ball here are the Lions, as Georgopoulos put the commentator's curse on him, I did. But that's going to be a free kick given away by Jonas Markowski. Georgopoulos to Fabrice. Fabrice trying to make a run through, goes down, and eventually the referee decides, yes, that is in fact an infraction, and it's indeed a yellow card as well. So a bit of thinking time from the man in the middle, and eventually awards the Lions a free kick, and Altona the game's first caution. Georgopoulos and Ziggy Rizuki standing over the ball. So the likes of Fabrice and Ahmedi and Doyle in there as well. Doyle, a very big lad for just 20 years old. Rizuki swings it in on the left boot. Doyle was there, so was Drutzis at the back. Still with Drutzis now, he's collected the rebound. Strong defending, however, there from the Magic. Puts it out for a throw-in. Noon heads it on. Second header from the big man. But that's picked out by Deluri. Pick the pocket of Bert Gilroy. Now long-range effort from Georgopoulos, getting down low to his right, however, was Chris Oldfield for the relatively comfortable save from the NPL Victoria veteran. Fabrice left the ball behind, gives Jonas Markowski something to chase. Before he can do so, Nathan Sim just puts it onto the roof of the club rooms at Eastern Lions, bouncing across the recently renovated club rooms of the Eastern Lions. Made a number of improvements to the Gardeners Creek Reserve facility. Has the side from Burwood since attaining promotion to the NPL Victoria. Were supposed to have their first top flight season in club history back in 2020. Of course, the pandemic put paid to that, but now finally getting another second chance to make a debut bow in 2021. And today looking for their third win of the season, should they hold on to this 1-0 lead. Maravescos to Ruthven. Sete on the left flank, but getting across well is Doyle. And Doyle does enough to win his side a throw-in. Reeves does well to get in there in front of Drutzis, and he's kind of somewhat shirt-fronted there by Sean Kenny. Put on his back by one of the long-standing figures of this Eastern Lions side. Of course, I do say long-standing figures, but the Eastern Lions have about half a dozen long-standing, well-established figures that have been at the club for close to half a decade, if not more. Dean Maravescos standing over it. Will deliver it in for his new side. Right-footed towards the back of the area. A couple of players there. It was John McShane and eventually it was Alex Castiello that headed it forward, but went wide of the goals, and it will be a Keegan Coulter goal kick. Georgopoulos eventually finds Delury. Doyle coming under pressure from McShane. Drutzis. Sete and Ruthven pressuring him. Ismaili. Well won by Harrison Reeves. Strong turn there from the left back as well, and he's going to find McShane, and then McShane's just going to knock it into space and run onto it. Does he have players arriving in the middle? He's got Markowski there, but the ball's going to sail over their heads, and Markowski will do battle with Fabrice. And Fabrice content to watch that ball roll over the line for another Eastern Lions goal kick. Was already mentioned in this broadcast that South Melbourne and Hume City, South Melbourne have taken an early lead in that one, and now in the other game taking place, Port Melbourne versus the Oakley Cannons, it is Port Melbourne Sharks that lead in that one through a penalty in the 22nd minute. I'll bring you the goal scorer for that one as soon as it comes through on the wires. Castiello. Reeves. Sete. That's going to be a handball, surely. Yep. Swatted at by Drutzis. Without the subtlety to get away with it. Castiello. Gomez de Silva out to Bert Gilroy. Castiello will just play it all the way back to Oldfield, and the Altona Magic can reload and come again. Oldfield booting the ball long. McShane trying to flick it on, which he'll do so. Markowski giving chase, but neither he nor Fabrice will beat Keegan Coulter to the ball as the veteran Eastern Lions goalkeeper collects and starts directing traffic, and before he plays just out short to Nathan Sim next to him. Fabrice, that's a dangerous central ball. Forces Doyle to go first time, but it's coming out now to Sevdim Ismaili, and a lot of space on the right flank. He'll play it to Drutzis, coming under pressure from Castiello. Centre back forces the pass inside, and then Noon creates a turnover. Well done from Harry Noon. Left-footed cross in. Was intended for McShane. Headed clear by Sim. Header finds Drutzis. Plays it forward to Ismaili. Sliding challenge from by Harrison Reeves. Will be a foul, and we'll now see. We'll just get the verbal warning from that one. Bit of pleasantries being exchanged with between both sides and their respective benches. Will be James Doyle, the 20-year-old, standing over it. And he will just boot this long off his right boot. Looking for Ahmedi. Delury wins it on the ground. Drutzis back to Delury. Dennis Delury turns, does well to beat Beravescos, and now coming inside, Dennis Delury. Ball across the face, was begging to be turned in, but there was just nobody there for the Lions. Drutzis flashes wide of the post. So back-to-back good chances there for the hosts. Dennis Delury cutting inside and laying across a low ball that was begging for a close-range tap-in. And then Drutzis flashing wide of the goals. Oldfield boots it long. McShane battles Sim, and it's knotted on, and it will find its way all the way through to Coulter. Played out to Doyle. Drutzis trying to combine with Ismaili. Initially Ruthven coming in to try to blow it up, which he does so. Reeves back to Ruthven. Played forward by Gomez de Silva, intended for Noon, who's forced to battle with Georgopoulos, but will come away with it. And look for Sete on the left flank. Beravescos back to Reeves. Setse. A little bit of a shove from Ismaili. Goes unnoticed by the referee. And that enables the Eastern Lions right back to watch it roll over the line for another goal kick. So approaching the half an hour mark in this one. Just joining us. Eastern Lions have a 1-0 lead thanks to a penalty. Won by Aaron Fabrice, I believe it was, and then converted by Ionis Georgopoulos. Magic looking to respond to secure either what would be, I believe it would be one of many draws this season. Still looking for their first win. I think the Magic have 4 draws on the season. Magic started their campaign with 3 draws, but since then have had 5 losses and another draw. Aside from Paisley Park also playing just their 3rd game on the road in 2021 in this round 10 of the NPL Victoria season. Doyle, he was had to play firefighter a few times for a few risque balls from his teammates. Drutzis leaves it behind and now allows Reeves to get in with the challenge, but it's only going to go as far as Ismaili. Back to Doyle, McShane applying the pressure. Ball intended for Deluri, but coming in there was Alex Castiello, who just puts the ball into the trees here behind the filming position on the Eastern Lions attacking right flank. Ismaili throws forward, looking for Drutzis. Reeves comes away with it, sells a bit of candy, retains the ball, does Reeves, until Georgopoulos says enough of that. However, in the resulting confusion, it's going to spill out to Sete. McShane tries to chest it down. Georgopoulos nips in. Doyle. Beravescos applying the pressure. Sim to Kenny. Back to Sim. Rizuki cutting inside. Ziggy Rizuki will look forward for options and eventually play it for Drutzis here on the right flank. Rizuki continued his run. Instead, Drutzis was looking in the middle, looking for Adi Ahmedi, but it's going to sail over his head. And now a chance for the Altona Magic to break quickly. Bert Gilroy. He's got Markovski in front of him. Noon and McShane in the middle. He's still going as the right back. And she'll play it back to Noon. Noon, left-footed effort, is blocked away. Blocked away there by Sean Kenny, and now Drutzis on the ball for the Eastern Lions. Ahmedi trying to get in behind the defence, but he's not going to be able to do so as Alex Castiello gets there first and plays it back to Oldfield. But Oldfield's pass is poor. Drutzis picks it out. Drutzis can't beat his man. But he does win the ball off Harrison Reeves. This is an excellent battle on this flank, these two, Drutzis and Reeves going at it. Drutzis gets up quickly. He's got men in the middle. Plays it back to the top of the area. Deluri. Ahmedi. Was a shot there from Dennis Deluri. Was straight at the feet of Adi Ahmedi, and he just tried to flick it on, but couldn't get enough power on it and claimed by Oldfield. But Gilroy, he came under pressure, but he's done enough to win a free kick. Some feedback from Nathan Sim at the back. I won't quote him exactly, but he wants his teammates to stop mucking around with it, with a couple of extra words added in for good measure. It's a long ball for Sete, but brought down. Beravescos just tries to hoof it out. Instead it went straight into Sete's breadbasket. Second attempted hoof out is better, and it slips straight through a couple of Magic players. And eventually they'll collect. Reeves playing it forward, looking for McShane. Doyle with an important intervention. And then lofting a ball over the top, looking for Dennis Deluri. Chested down. Castiello comes in to apply the pressure. Drutzis, Sete coming in behind. Georgopoulos. Ismaili. Georgopoulos. He'll turn and play it forward to Kenny. Georgopoulos cutting back inside. Sim. I'm sure that was intentionally going to Ismaili, but it did find him. Now Drutzis. Drutzis can't get past Harrison Reeves. And will be a throw-in for Eastern Lions on this right flank, just in front of the Altona Magic bench. Kenny. Georgopoulos. Coming under pressure from Harry Noon. Now Harrison Reeves pressures Drutzis into a pass that looked like it had gone out, but Ismaili apparently kept it in. Sim. Markowski applying the pressure. Kenny. Doyle boots it long. Drutzis and Reeves give chase. Drutzis has done very well to keep it in now. He's got time to look up and try to pick out a teammate. Ahmedi, can he bring it down? Trying to get twisting and turning. Shot is blocked away by Ruthven at the last. And then Burt Gilroy heading it, trying to head it clear, but Rizuki will collect. Ziggy Rizuki kept trying to keep the pressure on, but eventually Anthony Burt Gilroy does enough to recover and put it out for a throw-in. Georgopoulos doing his part to keep the Lions in possession. Doyle. Drutzis. Bit of a don't argue there to Reeves, and then he'll turn inside and play it for Deluri. He ignores the run of Rizuki and goes to Georgopoulos. Georgopoulos can't get past his men, and Ruthven comes away with it. Markowski. McShane pointing at where he wants it, but instead he goes back to his right back, Burt Gilroy. And then the ball is just eventually splayed forward for McShane, but Doyle wins the aerial battle. And then Kenny heads it back for Coulter, who could have picked it up if he wanted to, but he'll keep it on the turf. Rizuki flicks it on for Deluri. Tries to cut inside, but again an important intervention by Troy Ruthven, who's done a few of those, especially in the past few minutes. Castiello looking around, eventually just goes back to Oldfield. Ruthven falls over, and it's going to cost his side as Georgopoulos gets in there. Now Drutzis looking for a return pass for Deluri. Deluri turning around and finding Rizuki on the left flank, Ziggy Rizuki. Going up against Burt Gilroy, looking for the touchline. Rizuki eventually gets it in, but Ahmedi can't turn the corner with his volleyed effort. And it's going to go out for a Chris Oldfield goal kick. Noon trying to keep it in. Does enough eventually to win the throw-in for his side. Harry Noon, the long-time Heidelberg figure, making the move out to Paisley Park for this season. Kenny coming away with the ball. Keeps battling, and eventually the ball is going to come out off Anthony Burt Gilroy. No. Will be a magic throw-in there. So approaching the 40-minute mark here. Gardners Creek Reserve. Score remains 1-0 thanks to Georgopoulos' penalty. Castiello. Ahmedi applying a bit of a press now. Will force Oldfield to accelerate a little bit as he finds Reeves with a good pass. Can Sete keep it in? He can't. So I've been frustrated in there for race forward. Have the Magic. They're getting down both flanks. Pretty with somewhat regularity, but then running into difficulties with that final ball, trying to get in behind this Lions back four. Drutis flicks it beyond Noon. Markowski collects. Ruthven and Markowski playing a bit of head tennis. Bert Gilroy. Whip the ball in, but there's just nobody there for the Magic, and it's going to go out for a goal kick. So brief hints, brief teasers from the Magic, but thus far no delivery. As we wait for Keegan Coulter to play ball boy here and bring it back. A Coulter name, a rather famous one here at the Eastern Lions. Keegan's dad also playing for the club, so a family connection there. And off the right boot of Coulter. Pack forms and it will be Ruthven who headed it onwards, but now Rizuki collects at the end of it. Fabrice back to Sim under pressure from McShane. Forces him to advance forward. Still on the ball is Nathan Sim, and he's going to go down under the challenge from his opposite man. But he does win a free kick. And he's stayed down on the turf here as well, has Nathan Sim. Getting a bit of encouragement from his goalkeeper was Sim to get up and play it back to him, which he does, and then gets a return pass. Sim boots this ball long. Nodded onwards, but picked out by Ruthven again. Noon, but the sliding challenge comes in from Kenny. Bit of tunnel ball between the legs of Noon there. Sete, look for Noon. Doyle watching him. Noon playing a ball into the middle, but Sim will intercept. Noon throwing his arms up in exasperation that there was nobody getting there to meet it. But another chance now for the Magic. Sete trying to open up the angle and flash the shot just wide in the end does Nicolas Sete. Forcing the turnover and getting out quickly were the Magic, but on that occasion, Sete, one of their few, well, wasn't the clearest of look of goal. It was a clear look on goal, but he just can't slot it inside that near post, and the Lions live to fight another day with their 1-0 lead. But Gilroy heads it forward. Bit of a shove in the back there from McShane. No doing, says the referee. Coulter boots it forward again. Deluri trying to turn his man, but Gomez de Silva got ahead on it. And then appeals for a free kick will be heeded by the referee. Ball adjudged to have come off the hand of Alex Castiello. Now a free kick in what is a dangerous area for the Altona Magic. Couple of set-piece specialists, as I mentioned, on the field for the Eastern Lions. You can see them immediately going and standing over the ball there. Georgopoulos is there, so is Ziggy Rizuki, so is Dennis Deluri. Deluri ambles away, so will it be the right boot of Jonas Georgopoulos or the left boot of Ziggy Rizuki? Five-man wall assembled for the Magic. Harrison Reeves adjacent as well. No draft excluded from the Magic, however. Hopefully their set-piece defending a little bit better than Paris Saint-Germain's. Oh, I said the NPL was better than the Champions League. Rizuki just over the bar. Trying to put that ball into the top corner was Ziggy Rizuki, forcing Oldfield to scramble, but it's just gone high and wide there from the Eastern Lions left footer. Bert Gilroy combining with Beravescos. Dances over the sliding challenge, and this is better from the Magic. Beravescos playing the ball across the field for Sete. Can he keep it in? He will eventually, and he's got enough time to collect. But it's going to get brought back for an offside. Harry Noon, absolutely filthy with Sete. Not happy with the effort to track back and make sure that he was onside. Well, he didn't say it like that, but that's how I'm going to describe it. Booted forward again by Coulter. Delury gets a head on it, as does Ruthven. Ruthven's second bite of the cherry, plays it back to Gomez de Silva, and he'll look for Sete on the left flank, but Sevden Ismaili content to just shepherd him out of the way and let it go out for an Eastern Lions throw-in. Knocked on there by Ahmedi. Delury plays it over the top of his head for Ahmedi to run onto. Gomez de Silva doing well to apply the pressure and put the ball out. And in the end, it has come off Ardi Ahmedi last, so very good defending there from Haniel Gomez de Silva as he wins his side a throw-in. Spills out to Markowski. Sete. Back to Markowski. McShane. Quick passing here from the Magic Machine. Left-footed cross. Splayed off his left boot. It's the fourth official signals that there will be one additional minute of time here at Gardeners Creek Reserve. And in the end, Coulter had to get a glove on it. And it's going to be an Altona Magic corner kick here in first half stoppage time. Chance for them to get some bodies forward, and you can see them going in there. Gomez de Silva and Castiello both going in there. They've got McShane in there and Noon as well. A lot of big bodies in there for the visitors. Sete delivers it in. McShane rises. Touched on. Just cleared away. Golden opportunity there for the Magic, but they're going to retain possession here. Troy Ruthven. Can he find a man in the middle? Castiello lurking. Headed onwards, but he's going to be offside. Wouldn't have counted even had he beaten Keegan Coulter in the goals. But potential hints there for the Altona Magic bench of an avenue to goal in the second stanza. Very threatening from the set piece. And that will be half-time here at Gardeners Creek Reserve. So in what has been an entertaining and hard-fought contest here, the score is Eastern Lions 1, thanks to Ioannis Georgiopoulos penalty. In about the 15th minute of this one, the Altona Magic 0, not created a lot of clear-cut chances, had the Magic until very late on with that set piece, but the game very finely poised here out in Burwood. Two teams that desperately need the 3 points, going hard at it. Thank you for joining me for the first half of the NPL Victoria Facebook and YouTube pages. You'll have the countdown clock for company as we approach the second half. Be sure to join us for that in about 15 minutes or so. Kid. In 10, okay. Cool. On the hour mark. Oh, 55. Cool. Yeah, I'll see it down there. Doing, says the referee. Yeah, I'll see it down there. Welcome back to all of our viewers on the stream as you hear me converse with one of the figures on the sideline here about a coming substitution. Spoiler alert, we will have one soon, but for the sake of the hosts, I won't reveal who it will be until they actually make it then. But good contest here in this one. If you are joining us, we're still waiting for the Altona Magic to emerge from the penalty from their rooms as I look across the field and see them just doing that now. That has been a very entertaining contest. Eastern Lions winning 1-0 at this stage thanks to a Jonas Georgopoulos penalty won by Aaron Fabrice. Probably had the better chances of that half, did the Eastern Lions. Were doing quite well down the right flank, working through Sevdan Ismaili and Chris Drutzis. Altona Magic were frustrated a bit. They were getting the ball down the channels a lot, trying to get that last ball in, that cross in, that ball in behind the Eastern Lions defence, but were frustrated till the very end, where a set-piece opportunity coming in was pretty much cleared off the line, it looked like, from the commentary position over here on the left flank. So potential avenue to goal for the Magic if they can start to win some corners and start lofting some better balls in to those big figures that they have there in the middle of the park. My name is Joey Lynch. Thank you for joining us for the second half of this contest on the NPL Victoria Facebook and YouTube pages. As I said at the top of the broadcast, a huge game for both sides. Genuine six-pointer areas, even if it is only round 10 of the season. These sides separated by 4 points towards the foot of the NPL Victoria table. Altona Magic looking for their first win on the season still. I'm going to stage a comeback here, and if it does end scoreless, they will get their fifth draw, but the Eastern Lions looking to move up and draw within touching distance, striking distance, call it what you will, of the top six as the Magic get us going once again. No substitutions to report at the halftime break, although that might change early on. Definitely will change early on for the hosts, potentially for the Magic as well. Reeves, who was quite busy in that first half, gave almost as good as he got, it must be said. Harrison Reeves had a lot to do defensively, but also tried to get involved in an attacking manner as Deluri brings it down, plays it forward for Kenny. Ahmedi trying to cut inside, Ruthven coming in to clear, but Drusus there as well, and then it's just played back in. But to nobody in particular from Sean Kenny as it's collected by Chris Oldfield, and then he'll just hurl the ball out looking for Anthony Burke-Gilroy out here in front of our camera position. Rizuki giving chase to Harry Noon. Harry Noon doing well to shrug him off, but he runs into a bit of a cul-de-sac, does Harry Noon. Back to Burke-Gilroy. Georgopoulos puts the ball in front of Dennis Deluri to give chase, but he's not going to be able to get there in time. And Haniel Gomez da Silva, one of three new players making their Altona Magic debut today, watches it go out. Burke-Gilroy just hurls it forward, looking for Jonas Markowski, but he's unable to bring it down. And Aaron Fabrice will get us going once again. Mentions there that the Eastern Lions would be looking to make an early substitution here in that second half, and that largely has quite a lot to do with the fact that midweek they had to go 120 minutes in their Round 5 FFA Cup meeting with Mornington SC. The State League side forcing it into extra time after it finished 1-1, but then, well, the Lions, they had a number of first-choice players on the bench for that contest, and they brought them on for the extra 30 minutes and promptly won 4-1. But several figures also having to go 120 in that one, so few tired bodies maybe for the Lions and an opportunity for the Magic to run over the top perhaps, as that ball is over the top for Markowski from Noon, but Aaron Fabrice, one of the aforementioned players that did go 120, gets across and puts it out for a throw-in. Ball in the hands of Bert Gilroy. That's a healthy shove from Ziggy Rizuki on Jonas Markowski, but it's play on. Noon. Another throw in here. Bert Gilroy looking for Markowski over the top, but Fabrice puts it out. But it's going to be another corner kick here. And talking about potential for avenue to goal for the Magic. Here's an early look at it in the second stanza. As you can see, the big bodies getting up. You've got the centre-back combo of Alex Castiello and Haniel Gomez de Silva moving up. You've got Harry Noon. But as I say that, the Magic play it short. Sete. Markowski chips it up towards the back post, but there's nobody there over the head of Castiello. Sim. We'll just watch it roll out for a throw-in. So hadn't even gotten through all the big bodies in there for the Magic, but it didn't matter because unable to find anybody in the area were the visitors. Nodded on by Drutzis. Ahmedi giving chase. It's going to go all the way back to Chris Oldfield in the Magic goal. He'll just splay it out for Gomez de Silva. Gomez de Silva coming under pressure from Ahmedi. And now Ziggy Rizuki there as well. And at first is Anthony Bert Gilroy to just say, I'm going to do this myself and pinch the ball off his teammate. He'll eventually get it to Alex Castiello. Reeves wins the throw-in, but the ball hammering off the advertising skirting here at Gardners Creek Reserve, preventing him from going quickly with a substitute ball. Right over the top, put it back out by Doyle. Been performing well, has the youngster in the heart of the Lions' defence. Ziggy Rizuki stares down Bert Gilroy and is eventually forced to go back to Fabrice. Markowski brought down by Fabrice, waved away by the referee. Much to the disgust of some on the Altona bench. It's consistent with the way he's been refereeing with that one. So you can ask for the referees, just as long as they're consistent with everything. Castiello plays the ball forward. Headed away by Fabrice. Rizuki. Turned by Deluri, does well to shade Ruthven, but then getting back is Bert Gilroy, but it's going to come out to Ahmedi. Ahmedi plays it back in, Drutzis! He scored a field goal, not an actual goal. Well over the bar from Chris Drutzis. NFL draft is taking place yesterday, today and tomorrow. Maybe he's trying as a kicker. Oldfield gets going again, out to Bert Gilroy, and then he'll get it back. Castiello. Bit of time to advance up the field. Then he'll look up and play the ball long, looking for the run of Harrison Reeves, but it's going to sail over his head and out for a throw-in. You can see in there James Doyle directing traffic. He's just a youngster, but see, he's taking command of this defence as we see the Magic getting prepared to make a substitution. John Stoichevsky preparing to come on. I'll wait to see who the fourth official indicates will make way for him. Will be Nick Sete coming off. So John Stoichevsky coming off for Nick Sete. Sete just makes his way to the quickest way off the field. and will make the long walk around the touchline. Stoichevsky gets over there in defence to help his side out. Drutzis left the ball behind and enables Ruthven to poke the ball clear for Noon. Noon plays the ball over the top, looking for the runner Markovsky. Fabrice getting over. Discretion the better part of valour, he decides, and puts it out. Gomez de Silva. Long ball forward for Briss again. Noon turns in the face of Rizuki. Two of the best hairstyles in the NPL going at it there. Ball is switched across to Harrison Reeves. Harrison Reeves looking for the touchline and then he'll whip it in, but it's going to go straight. And it's come off last off an Eastern Lions defender, in fact, so another set-piece opportunity for the Altona Magic. Castiello and Gomez de Silva getting up there again. McShane already waiting in there. Harry Noon as well. A lot of men that know how to head the ball waiting in the penalty area for the Altona Magic. Ball whipped in, but it's headed clear by James Doyle at the near post. Not a good corner. Reeves teed up from range. Flicked back into the area. Noon giving chase. Sean Kenny was collected, and it looks like it will be a free kick. Given away by Harry Noon. Sounds like as well like the Magic will be making an adjustment next time they get a corner kick as well, if my hearing of what they're saying on their bench is accurate. Coulter goes long. Over the head of Beravescos. Gets a second go at it, however. Battling hard for it was Harrison Reeves, but it's come out now. McShane straight down the gut of Keegan Coulter. Markowski cut it back for his number 9, but in the end, comfortable save for Keegan Coulter. You're not going to beat the 2019 NPL2 Goalkeeper of the Year with many efforts like that one. And the Lions lead survives. Rizuki. Gomez de Silva coming over the top of him and gives away the free kick. Noon standing over it. Sim. Feints taking it quickly and instead goes back to Keegan Coulter. Sim plays the ball across the field looking for Drutzis. Bert Gilroy intercepts before he can get to Rizuki. Deluri. Noon. Battling with Deluri and wins the ball, Harry Noon. And now there's space in the middle he can operate in. Trying to play the ball for the run of McShane. Cut out by Fabrice. Gomez de Silva to Castiello. So Chesky plays it back to Castiello and then back across the defence. Long ball forward to, well, I'm sure it wasn't intended to go to Keegan Coulter, but it found him pretty comfortably. Now the Lions goalkeeper will put it on the turf and go long. That's to nobody in particular, really. Bit of sloppy pass in here, bit of Route 1 stuff. Sneaking into the game. Rizuki skies it. Gomez de Silva heading it out for a throw-in. Getting there in front of Adi Amedi. Ziggy Rizuki to Fabrice. Georgopoulos gets it back from Sim. Across Doyle, back to Georgopoulos, back to Doyle. It's going to beat Dennis Deluri. Stoichevsky. Stoichevsky has gone into the left-back position since he's coming on, pushed Harrison Reeves further up the pitch. So a technical adjustment there from Savas Batikis on the Altona Magic bench. There's Stoichevsky that boots the ball forward. McShane giving chase, can't win it. Markovsky was lurking as well, but now Ziggy Rizuki Well challenged by Bert Gilroy. He's probably had the better of that matchup today, has Anthony Bert Gilroy. So often, it's going to be a corner kick indeed. So often do the Lions attacks run through Ziggy Rizuki, but he has been frustrated this afternoon. This will be a goal kick. Keegan Coulter jogging across to take it again. Drutsis tries to flick it onwards, can't do so. Eventually Kenny on it, Georgopoulos. It's going to be offside on Dennis Delury as soon as he touched it. Indeed it is. He knew it as well, seeing him slow down. Stachewski gets us going quickly. Plays it back to Oldfield. Gomez de Silva presents the switch if he wants it, and he will indeed want it, will Oldfield. Gomez de Silva splays another ball forward, looking for McShane. Punched clear by Keegan Coulter, just on the edge of the area. Dennis Delury nods the ball on. Ahmedi gives chase, and that's going to make Oldfield work, is the back pass, but he collects and boots forward. Markowski can't get a head on it for Briss. Stolen away by Beravescos and then to McShane. McShane can't get the ball in for the run of noon. And he's gone down and he stayed down. Lions, however, don't look like they're going to put the ball out yet. Markowski now, turnover, Dean Beravescos. McShane is back up. Receives the pass. Nothing heals an injury like retaining possession. McShane, ball in. Headed clear by Sim. Drutsis. Georgopoulos. Vantage played. Ball over the top looking for the run of Sean Kenny. Can't get there and it's headed back by Castiello to Oldfield. Stachewski. Ruthven. Back to his left back. And then he'll get it back this time facing the right way. Turns Kenny. Just Magic coming under a bit of a press. Trying to figure out a way out of their own half. Eventually they'll do it quite comfortably. Ruthven. Looking across field, looking for Reeves. Applying the pressure was Ismaili. Noon. Whips a ball in, Markowski and McShane lurking, but neither of them are able to get there, and Coulter just watches the ball go out for a goal kick. Can never count out this Altona Magic side, though. They have made a habit in recent weeks of scoring late. Their 2-1 loss to Melbourne Knights in round 8. They scored a goal in the 91st minute through Lucas, even though in the end that was wiped out by Gian Albano's penalty. And then the week before that, they got goals in the 87th and 93rd minute to force a 2-2 draw with Dandy City. So discount the Magic's ability to stage a comeback at your peril. Drutsis trying to find a teammate in the area, but it's cleared away by Gomez de Silva. Fabrice coming under pressure from McShane. And Fabrice does well to shield the ball and earn a free kick. Doyle turns inside and finds his teammate Drutsis. Lions just content to keep possession here, not take a risk. Doyle again, coming under pressure from Noon. And that pressure forces him to go long. Ahmadi giving chase next to Altona's 2 centre-backs. Eventually it is Gomez de Silva that tries to come away with it, but coming under pressure from Ahmadi wins the free kick. Ruthven has time and Markowski if he wants him. Instead he goes to his right back, Bert Gilroy. Eventually, Jonas Markowski gets a touch, but he plays it back to Bert Gilroy. Baraveskos to Bert Gilroy. Ruthven comes on. He's brought down from behind there by Ardi Ahmed. He turned his body at the last to shield the ball and win the free kick. Ardi Ahmedi's complaining, but I'm not sure there's any referee on the planet that isn't at least awarding a free kick for that one. For McShane, headed onwards, but strong mark from Keegan Coulter, getting the knee up. Claiming that area in front of him for himself. Sim puts his foot on the ball, takes a pausa. Guess it's a Deluri who finds Rizuki. Back to Fabrice. Back to Sim. Ruthven plays it back to Noon. Markowski now. Angle in a goal, played away. Strong save from Keegan Coulter. Markowski put the ball in his right foot and lashed in a shot that forced Coulter to get down low well. Danger still lurking for the Magic. Sliding challenge coming in from Castiello. Earns him a place in the referee's notebook. But just so close up the other end there for the Magic. It was a well done by Jonas Markowski. And equally well done, it must be said, by Keegan Coulter. Very strong hand to keep that one out. Was hit with a fair bit of power. But in the past now, and Markowski is one of a number of Magic players getting back to defend this set piece. Deluri. The routine free kick eventually wins a corner for the Eastern Lions. Chance for them to maybe get some bodies forward. But also the signal for McShane to join everybody except the diminutive Harrison Reeves in defending this one for the Magic. So going to take something special for the Eastern Lions to win a free header in these circumstances. Ziggy Rizuki will swing this one in on his left boot. Markowski has wandered forward to just give him something to think about. Rizuki, ball is delivered in. Players arriving back post, nodded onwards. In the end, I think that was Doyle at the back post. Just unable to get enough power on it to trouble Chris Oldfield. Now ball over the top looking for Reeves. Smiley clears it away initially. Markowski sprinted back up the field. Zaczewski plays it back. Left-footed effort swung in. Gives him Keegan Coulter just a little bit to think about. Before it sails and lands on the roof of his goal as the Magic look set to bring on another two players. A couple of very handy additions to bring in off the bench. Number 11, Stefan Ristic, coming onto the park. And the veteran A-League figure, Vince Leah, also coming onto the pitch for the Altona Magic. Is McShane and Baraveskos giving way for Ristic and Vince Leah. So Vinny Leah played for almost half the clubs in the A-League at one point or another over his very decorated career. Was most recently with Perth Glory before he retired from professional football, I believe. Now running around for the Altona Magic. Can he inspire his side to a comeback? Well, he is so handy in these situations when you're able to bring on a veteran like Vinny Lee. He has almost immediately started directing traffic. Basically, he serves as a coach on the field as well as a handy player. There's Vinny Leah. Georgopoulos flicks it onwards, headed clear by Bert Gilroy. Bit of head tennis once again. Numerous occasions, head tennis has broken out here. Gomez de Silva, dispossessed by Ziggy Rizuki. Georgiopoulos, pressured by the newly arrived Ristic. So you can see with the departure of McShane, it is Jonas Markowski that has moved into the number 9 position. Ristic on the right wing, Harrison Reeves on the left, and Harry Noon serving as the 10. Noon has continued the coaching of his side, the enthusiastic coaching of his side, telling them to press. Ball in the hands now of Ziggy Rizuki on the left flank. Coach Daniel Pushkasu in the Eastern Lions dugout, providing some instruction. Matty can't bring the ball down. Will fall to Vinny Leah. And he goes round Drutzis, and Drutzis collects him late, ensuring a free kick, which ends at the feet of Stojcevski. Forward for Reeves. Reeves beats his man and then cuts inside, looking for the arriving run of Harry Noon, but before Noon can get there, it is Keegan Coulter claiming it. As time continues to tick away here at Gardeners Creek Reserve. Gomez de Silva as we approach the 70-minute mark here at Gardeners Creek Reserve. Score remains Eastern Lions 1-0. And will remain so for now as the Lions clear again. Sean Kenny just booting this ball upfield, giving the men something to chase. Artie Amedi working against Castiello. And Castiello is forced to play it back off his head to Oldfield. Gomez de Silva splays another ball forward, giving Markowski something to chase. Magic time and time again in the second half. They're trying to get in behind this Eastern Lions defence. The ball's in over the top, but defensive discipline of the Eastern Lions holding haven't been caught. Of course, the qualifier in those statements always has to be haven't been caught yet. Have to survive another 20 minutes to the Eastern Lions. We've already talked about the Magic's predilection for scoring late. And unlike the Eastern Lions, Altona Magic, by virtue of being knocked out in the 4th round, didn't have a midweek FFA Cup game, so they should be fresher, in theory. Dennis Deluri working on the turf, trying to win the ball, but Ruthven comes away with it. Bert Gilroy. Ristic, former Melbourne Victory youth player, Stefan Ristic. Krista Stojcevski, Vinny Leah. Reeves, sliding challenge comes in strongly from Ismaili. Was supposed to be subbed off around the 55th minute, was Ismaili, but it looks like there has been a change of plans. And he's playing well, so why would you? Vinny Leah whips the ball back in. Ristic beats one man. Can't beat the second. Reeves tries to turn. Still with Reeves. He won't go down. We'll keep the ball. Reeves trying to play it back in. Blocked away. And then Ismaili just boots the ball into touch. Vinny Leah back to Stojcevski. Ball whipped in. Headed clear by the Lions. Magic definitely creating more now, even if it hasn't led to that many high-quality shots. Rizuki to Deluri. Back to Fabrice. Back to Deluri. Eastern Lions throwing. Work off Deluri, winning some round of applauses from his teammates. Here Nathan Sim there indicating to the Eastern Lions bench that they need to get somebody fresh on. Perhaps feeling like they are in danger of perhaps being overrun. Artie Amedi can't keep that one in. It's going to be a goal kick. Markowski with his hands in the air, just past the halfway line, wanting the ball sent long in his direction. Ristic getting forward, as is Harry Noon. Strong in the air is Harry Noon. Perhaps a chance to demonstrate it. Flicks it on, looking for Ristich. Nathan Sim skies it. Noon wins the header over Rizuki. And then he takes out Aaron Fabrice, earning himself a caution as well. Aaron Fabrice, not a slightly built lad, but you won't find many more solid figures in the NPL Victoria scene than Harry Noon. As we see Levdin Memendovsky. Does have Mehmedi on the back of the shirt, but the team sheet said Memendovsky. And he will enter the field for Ziggy Rizuki. Looks like the Lions are also preparing to bring on Sunny Zijai at some point. So a lot of young players on the bench for the Lions. Danger with that is, of course, that the less experience means they are perhaps more liable to crack under the pressure, but then conversely, younger bodies, fresher legs, able to run this one out and potentially close it out. Harry Noon. Stochevsky turns. Slides the ball across the field, but to nobody in particular. Maybe a chance in transition now. Deluri riding one challenge, can't ride the second. Sim does well to just prevent the ball from falling to Noon, but it's played back in. Booted clear. Danger remains, however. Fabrice heads it on. Memendovsky, early touch, looking for the run of Ahmedi, but he can't get there. Gomez to Silva, plays it forward. Ristich, Bert Gilroy. Noon. Back to Bert Gilroy. Across the field for Vinny Leah. Stochevsky. Left-footed cross coming in. Trying to flick onwards, but Ioannis Georgopoulos is there to play firefighter. Goes out for a throw-in, but the Magic pressure continues to build and build and build here. They are coming. Don't want to record their sixth loss on the season as we see substitution being made. Adi Ahmedi getting set to make way for Sonny Zijai. Zijai, who did give me a wry grin when he overheard me talking about the fresh legs coming on and the exuberance of youth, so either an indicator that that's exactly what he was planning to do or he was taking the slight PISS out of me. Time will tell. Now the ball whipped into the area, however, infraction has been seen in the lead-in. Looks like Harrison Reeves was adjudged to have brought down Nathan Sim. So the Lions' rearguard action continues to pay dividends against this Magic attack. That ball is just hammered, giving some poor fella behind the goals quite a task. Hopefully it hasn't got into the creek back there. No, it hasn't. Can the Magic create something? Can Coach Savas Patikis on the Altona Magic bench conjure something? Doyle heads it back into the danger area, but Drutz's touch lets him down. Castiello boots it forward. Nodded on by Reeves, who's battled hard. Drutzis brought down. Well, he kind of ran into a brick wall there in the form of Alex Castiello, but was adjudged to have been fouled in the process. So a chance for the Lions to get something going. Memendovsky heading over. Ioannis Georgopoulos is there as well. Left boot, right boot. Two-man wall for the Magic. Also see centre-back Nathan Sim had ghosted forward initially. He's waiting just outside the area at the back post. Will be Ioannis Georgopoulos to deliver. Headed clear by Vince Leah. Vidovsky can't bring it down. Sim to Deluri. Dinks the ball forward, but to nobody in particular wearing a red shirt at least. Ristic bowled over as he heads it, and the Lions take possession. Vidovsky laying it forward for Zajai. Zajai can't keep it in. Referee briefly stops play so Harrison Reeves can play ball boy and put a ball that had rolled onto the surface back into touch. Oldfield sends another ball forward long. Ristic tries to flick it on, but it's only going to go as far as James Doyle. He'll play that to the right flank for the runner Drutzis. And yes, that ball had gone out before he decided to start playing volleyball, did Chris Drutzis. Probably maybe lucky to escape a booking there for just slapping the ball as hard as he can forward. Because if you are the Lions, you're looking to take every second off this clock that you possibly can. Protect that 1-0 lead. If you are the Magic, you want the exact inverse. Troy Ruthven plays it back. Castiello. Almost to Silva. Noon plays it central for Ristic. Looking for Markowski. Eventually it finds him, but he's going to be forced wide. Jonas Markowski working against Sim. Kenny providing support for Sim. Bert Gilroy cuts inside onto his right boot, or cuts outside onto his right boot. Harry Noon now. To Bert Gilroy. Under pressure from Fabrice. He's forced to go back to Alex Castiello, but the Magic can come again. They can reload. Ristic has some space to operate in. Stefan Ristic goes from range, but it's going to go well wide of the right-hand post. Stefan Ristic turning and seeing that he had some space to wind something up. But still his side remains unable to trouble the score sheet. Coulter goes long. Eventually it's going to fall to Ioannis Georgopoulos with time. Harry Noon giving chase. Sorry, that was Troy Ruthven. Apologies, they've got very similar haircuts. Markowski plays it central for Ristic, headed forward. That one definitely intended for Harry Noon. But Keegan Coulter is going to collect it and then stand on the ball and make Harry Noon come and apply a bit of pressure as the Eastern Lions goalkeeper just steals a few extra seconds off the remaining time here at Gardens Creek Reserve. And the ball is booted long. Was Zajai giving chase and providing the energy. Comfortable collection, however, for Oldfield, and then he'll throw the ball out for Gomez de Silva. Noon. Looking for the runner Bert Gilroy, but Fabrice getting in there instead. Zajai. Drutzis coming inside, leaves the ball behind, goes back and collect, and then he's brought down by a good challenge in the end, and it was a good challenge from Gomez de Silva. And eventually in his efforts to try to collect the ball, Drutzis gives away the free kick. But he stays down on the turf, rubbing his head. Looks like he's going to earn a yellow card when he eventually comes to. Looks up. Referee Andrew Mamarcus just welcoming back to the land of the living with a yellow card. Of course, now that the trainer has come on, Drutzis will be forced from the surface. And given that he did go down holding his head, probably for the best in the end anyway. Score remains 1-0 here at Gardens Creek Reserve. Ioannis Georgopoulos' first half penalty, the difference between the two sides. Oldfield plays it short. Gomez de Silva. Markowski flicks it on Bert Gilroy, but he's dispossessed. Now Deluri has Zajai in support, looks to use him and then continues his run. Can Zajai slot the pass through? He can't. Now was a chance in transition for the Lions, but just unable to capitalise. But they'll get another chance here from the throw-in. Error there from the Magic. That was, you'd have to say, a rare chance in this second half of the Lions. It's definitely been the Magic with the better of the game here in this second stanza after maybe being shaded by the Lions in the first half. Desperately searching for first win on the season. Oh, the Altona Magic. Here in round 10. They've drawn 4 and lost 5 so far. Entered this game in the relegation zone, did the side from Paisley Park. And now they've given away a free kick in a dangerous area for handball. Georgopoulos directing traffic. I think he's telling all of his teammates to bugger off. Rizuki got a chance from a similar sort of area in the first half to have a ping, and now maybe Georgopoulos wants to go. Now that I've said all that, watch somebody else take it. I think it is Navdim Memendowski there with him. Would ostensibly favour a left footer. And will be Memendowski who's going to whip the ball in, looking for the top corner of the goals. Oldfield getting across quickly, but in the end he's able to just watch it slide wide. Ruthven centrally. Tries to pick out a run for Reeves, but intercepted before it can get there by Ismaili. Castiello cries from get up and press from the Eastern Lions bench. Bert Gilroy for Noon, gets it. Noon comes under quick pressure. Flicks it onward, winning a throw in the process. Does Harry Noon, taken quickly, looking for Ristich. Spills out to Ruthven. Ruthven tries to switch play, picked out by Georgopoulos, but Vinny Leah getting across. And still the Eastern Lions lead holds here at Gardeners Creek Reserve. Time continues to tick away for the Altona Magic. We are about to enter the final 5 minutes here in Burwood. Smiley plays out to Georgopoulos. Drutzis. Zajai. Played in central, but nobody really there waiting for it. Enables Gomes de Silva to play back for Oldfield, who just puts his welly through this one. And you can only find the sideline as it sails over the head of Harrison Reeves. Or bounces over the head of Harrison Reeves. Ruthven with the ball in the middle. Troy Ruthven rides the challenge and then finds Vinny Leah on the left flank. Played forward for Reeves. Central for Ristich. Reeves gets the return pass. Can't beat Doyle. But eventually he gets another go at it. He's still going. What excellent endeavour from Reeves. And then he's trying to play a pass. He fell over. Appeals for a penalty. Waved away by the referee. And Ismaili watches the ball go out for a goal kick, and trying to see over there, it looks like Doyle has remained on the turf. Not what you want to see if you are the Eastern Lions bench, one of your centre-backs. Going down. It's Keegan Coulter now, set to get us restarted. Leah heads it back. Reeves tries to flick it on. Drutzis just wellies the ball over his head. Lewandowski gives chase of Bert Gilroy. Bert Gilroy just plays the ball upfield for Markowski. They'll exchange passes, and then Markowski knocks it long. Ristic and Noon giving chase, but it's the veteran figure of Nathan Sim that gets there first and boots it out for a throw-in. Bert Gilroy gets us going again. Noon trying to turn and face the right way. Plays it back to Bert Gilroy. Castiello. Chevsky. Leah back heel to Soichevsky. Ball whipped in, heading towards the back post. Noon is there. Couldn't rise to meet it over the massive bodies. And the Lions just boot this ball clear. Dennis Deluri collides with Bert Gilroy, 50-50, and eventually Troy Ruthven is forced to slide in and play it all the way back to Chris Oldfield. Commitment being shown by both sides for this one. Massively important win for the Lions if they can hold on, as Zijai just sends Vince Leah flying. And the veteran A-League figure and now Altona Magic midfielder wins the free kick. Ruthven standing over it. As Bert Gilroy to his right, and then every other Altona teammate other than Oldfield getting in front of him. Plays it short. Leah. Tojevsky on the left. Ball whipped in. Headed onwards. But the Lions clear again. It was headed onwards by Gomez de Silva. Now Dennis Deluri looks up. Splays it out for Zijai. Run comes from Sean Kenny in front of him. Eventually Zijai uses Kenny. Kenny has a shot! Flashes just across the face of goal. Would have been against the run of play in transition from Sean Kenny. But it also would have put this game to bed. As we see the Lions also preparing to make another substitution of their own. Will be Dennis Deluri, the number 11, making way for the number 21, Gianluca Pizzarani. So fresh legs entering the field for the Magic, for the Lions, sorry. And we haven't had the substitutes board in action here for any of these substitutions, so I don't think we're going to get a visual indicator on how much stoppage time. So those of us on the stream will be kept in suspense. Signing challenge comes in, prevents Murmadovsky from playing the ball upfield, but it will still be a throw-in for the Lions. Ball in the hands of Fabrice. Has battled hard at left back, has Aaron Fabrice. Has every Lions defender. Pizzarani, chance for an early touch, but he's bundled off it by Castiello. Stochevsky battling with Drutzis. Drutzis ends up giving away the free kick. Vinny Leah goes to collect the ball quickly. Standing over it. Plays it across to Ruthven. Back to Leah. Just there's a massive, basically two different sections of the Magic, forward and attack, nothing in the midfield. And that forces this ball to get played long. Headed back out for the Lions. You've got to anticipate. Maybe the Lions won't mind that approach from the Magic. This is more dangerous, however. Markowski cutting inside. He's already done that once and gone close. And then that's a shot and the equaliser from Vince Leah. The pressure, the dam of the Lions eventually breaks. Markowski brought it back inside. Ball goes out to Vince Leah, and then the veteran picks out the bottom corner of the net. Keegan Coulter, absolutely no chance. And we talked about it here. The Altona Magic, they do love a late goal, and they get another one here as they tie things up, basically in second half injury time. Salvaging at least a point in this one, perhaps. Because the score here is at Gardeners Creek Reserve, Eastern Lions 1, Altona Magic 1. And now, can the Magic use the burst of energy that will no doubt come with that goal to find perhaps a winner, looking for their first win on the season. And that was a bit of an enthusiastic, and that's not good on the sideline there. And that's going to be a red card for Stochevsky. Interaction there with the fan. The fan will no doubt be ejected. Stochevsky has been shown a red card for the interaction. Security moving over, players getting over to argue. It's all breaking down here. This isn't what we want to see. Situation still occurring over there on the left flank. Players getting around it. Security's there as well. Referee Andrew Mamarcus trying to maintain the peace. We still do have a game to finish. As John Stochevsky is heading up to the rooms. Magic will be forced to play these last few minutes with 10 men. Referee is summoning Sean Kenny over. Trying to calm things down. Chris Oldfield is over there as well as Troy Ruthven. So it was the fan that just kind of hurled a bounce pass directly at Stochevsky, who didn't appreciate it. Remonstrations between the two eventually led to physical altercation. Fan has disappeared with security while Stochevsky is now watching from the rooms after being shown a red card. But regardless now, it is Reeves playing a ball forward for Ristich, but Ristich is offside. And it looks like Markovsky has gone down with cramp as well. So there won't be any quick restart to play here by the Eastern Lions. Very late on in this one. Other scores from around the ground. It has gone full time out at JL Murphy Reserve, and the full-time score in that one, Port Melbourne 3, Oakley Cannons 2. The Sharks at one stage up 3-0 in that one before an attempt at a late comeback from the Cannons fell just short. Meanwhile, out at Lakeside Stadium, it is South Melbourne 2, Hume 1. South going up 2-0 in the 89th minute, but Hume making it interesting with a goal in the 90 seconds. That one on the verge of going full-time. Not quite yet. This one's still going as well. It is 1-1. And it is game over. So this one ends with the spoils shared. The Altona Magic get their 5th draw on the season, still looking for their first win. For the Eastern Lions, it's their 3rd draw on the season. They did take the lead early on through Ioannis Georgopoulos from the penalty spot. Defended the lead for much of the game, but very, very, very late on. It was the veteran figure, the second half substitute, Vince Leah, that tied things up. Important addition to the game from Altona Magic coach Savas Patikis. His side salvages a point with another late goal. Then we had the late incident between the fan and John Stochevsky. Doesn't come back to haunt the Magic, however. But an interesting contest, disappointing for both sides. Spoils shared here. It was a 6-pointer. As we said at the top of the broadcast, ends up being a 1-pointer for either side. But Thank you for joining me today on the NPL Victoria Facebook and YouTube pages from wherever around the world you have been tuning in from. I have been Joey Lynch, taking you through all of this one on behalf of myself, Football Victoria, and Football Victoria's Partners Sportscast. Goodbye.